Good morning, children. Saira, welcome to this session. Today we are going to start with the last lesson from your portion, disaster management. It is the 10th lesson, disaster management. We have been learning disaster management from disaster, types of disaster, man-made, natural disaster. Okay, what are the effect of disasters? All this we have been learning from Standard 5. Okay, we will learn some more parts, some more in detail about disaster management in this lesson. Okay, now we can see some of the pictures of disasters. Okay, floods, even natural like tsunami, floods, and here you can see about water, the train, okay, derailment of train, and this all these are, you can see this is from your textbook. Okay, you can see the pictures from the textbook. Now, what is meant by disaster? This we have already learned. It is actually a self-study lesson, but still I will do this lesson. What is meant by disaster? Variously dangerous events occur many times in the environment. Those are called as disasters. Okay, dangerous events such as occurring in the environment are called as disasters. Some of the main natural disasters are floods, wet and dry famine, cyclones, earthquake, volcanoes, etc. These are all of a sudden trouble to the mankind. You all know when there is a disaster, it interrupts us. Okay, it gives trouble to mankind. Such events cause sudden changes in the environment and thereby cause the damage to it. You all know this. Okay. Environment is also damaged due to use of natural resources for our development. This we know, soil erosion, all these due to deforestation. Okay, because of this, there is the increase of these disasters. This leads to sudden disasters unexpected to human. These are called as man-made disasters. Okay. Now there are two types: natural disasters that we cannot control. What are they? Floods, tsunami, earthquake, volcanoes. All these are natural disasters. But there are some of the disasters which are made by man because of the development. We want to develop the area. We want to do anything for our purpose. We destroy the environment. Okay, and when there is a this leads to sudden disaster which is caused by human being. Okay, like deforestation. Okay, all these happens, and due to that, even when the small floods come, the water doesn't seep into the soil because of there is no trees and roots. So just so it leads to major disaster, major loss for the human beings. United Nations has defined the disaster as a sudden event that leads to a huge loss of life and property. Yes, this is correct. It is a loss to life as well as property. We don't know what will happen. Sometimes when there's an earthquake, okay, volcano, etc., the full property, the house, all the things, properties is lost. Okay, even many people are dying just because of this disasters. Words like huge and sudden are important in the definition. Okay, this is what is the definition? It is a sudden event that leads to the huge loss of life. That is not one or two people, children. We all know this. Many people lose their life as well as their property. They have to start everything from once again. Okay, they will lose their property, all the wealth, all the things, everything will be lost, and they have to start from the beginning. Suppose the house is demolished due to earthquake. From the beginning, they have to start building the house. The property is gone, the house, even the house, so everything they have to start from the beginning. So it is a huge loss of property as well as life. Okay, as the disaster occurs suddenly, it cannot be predicted. Yes, can be predicted? No, it is a sudden natural disaster. Sometimes can be predicted, like when there is a cyclone or a storm. From the meteorological department you get the information, but some of the other disasters cannot be predicted at all. Hence precautions are not possible. Huge losses to the property occur in the area of disaster. Okay, there are long-term effects on society due to incidences of life and property loss. Okay, there is a long time effect. If there is a floods or tsunami, which is after that disaster also, there is a lot of time it will take to come back to normal. Various areas of life like economic, social, cultural, political, law and administration, etc. are also affected by this. Yes, not only people and property, there is all the areas, in all the which all areas, economic, social, cultural, political, law and administration, everything is affected by this disasters. Okay. Now, the life in the area of disasters disturbed totally. See, there's no school. Okay, school will be closed. The house, there no place for them to live in. So totally, there will be distraction as it disturbs the normal routine. There is loss to life and property of the people in distress. Earlier, we have studied various types of disasters. Yes, we have studied, and the measures to be taken, how to prevent the disasters also we have learned. None of the different disasters are similar. Are they anything similar? All are different. Period of each disaster is not the same. Some disasters are short term whereas some are long term. Reasons behind each disaster are also different. Depending upon the nature of disaster, it can be determined that which component of the environment will be affected more. Okay, so whichever is the area, suppose there is a tsunami, the coastal area is affected more. So depending upon the nature of the disaster, we come to know which area of the environment is affected more. Okay, if there is a earthquake in that particular area, all there is a property, there's a loss of property as well as life. Okay, then that area only. So whichever, depending upon the uh, depending upon the nature of the disaster, we can determine which component of the environment will be affected more. Okay, earlier we have studied the effects of various types of disasters and the precautionary measures to be taken in case of any disaster. This we have learned what you have to do when there is a disaster. Okay, when there is an earthquake, we have learned in from standard 5 we are learning. If there is an earthquake, if there is an electric shock, what you have to do, you have to, okay, if there is a fire, forest fire, we have learned from our lower classes. Now in this lesson it is something different about disasters. It is not there's the same time. Okay, so we have learned about studied the various types of disasters and the precautionary measures to be taken in case of any disaster happens. We can classify the disasters in other ways too, like catastrophic disasters, example cyclones in Odisha, catastrophic earthquakes of Gujarat and Latur, frequently buzzing cyclones in coastal Andhra Pradesh, etc. We learnt in 9th standard also in that lesson, environmental lesson, we have learnt all these, which lead to total chaos, huge loss of life and property in respective region. So the examples they have given, that is cyclones in Odisha, earthquake in Gujarat and Latur, and cyclone in the coastal Andhra Pradesh is very common. Okay, and due to this there is total chaos, huge loss of life and property in respective region. Okay, this is an example given. Okay, however, irrespective of all these, life has always returned to normal within short time. Yes, within after a few days or few months, it will take time, but it will come to normal again, and people will forget about that disaster itself. They will go, if there is a derailment or any major train accident also, within few days it will be forgotten, and as usual there will be crowd in the local train and everything will be normal. And if there is after the any disaster, okay, when there is a fire or any natural calamities are there, people will, the life of the people will be returned to normal soon. Okay, after a few days they will forget that incident, and they, as usual they will start going for their work. Disasters making the impact for long duration are those who after effects are either severe or severity increase with time. Example, famine, various problems of crop, strikes of workers, rising level of oceans, desertification, all these will have a long impact. Okay, famine means there is no food at all, no, so that all these problems, okay, various problems of crop, strike of workers, so these are all major problems that will have a long after effect they will have after the disaster. Okay, see, there are types of disaster. There are three types. One is geographical, biological, and man-made. In lower classes, we learned natural and man-made. Under and here in standard 10, we are learning there are three types of disasters. One is the geographical disaster, geographical, biological, and man-made. Under geographical, there are two types: geological, geophysical. Sorry, first one is geophysical, biological, and man-made. Geophysical, biological, not geographical. Sorry, children. Geophysical, biological, and man-made. Under geophysical, there are two types: geological and atmospheric. Okay. Under geophysical, there are two: geological and atmospheric. Example of geological is about Earth. Okay. Geo means what? About Earth. Earthquake, volcano, tsunami, landslide, landfall, erosion, alkalization, flooding, all these related to Earth due to natural calamities. This is geological. Atmospheric is hot and cold waves, snowstorms, snowfall, cyclones, hailstorm, drought, flood. Okay, this is due to atmospheric. So this one, examples you learn, it can come for any objectives. Geophysical, not geographical, sorry children. Geophysical, under that there are two types: geological, atmospheric. Under geological, what are they? Earthquakes, volcanoes, tsunami, landslide, landfall, erosion, alkalization, flooding. Learn at least few examples under each type. Atmospheric, hot and cold waves, snowstorms, snowfall, cyclones, storm, drought, flood, meteorite, sunspots, etc. comes under atmospheric. Then under biological, there are two types. One is about plant, another one is animals. So under plant, when there any disaster occurring in the forest, like forest fire and fungal disease spreading, weed, okay, and carrot grass common, all these are problem in the plant. That is sometimes there will be fungal disease in the crops, so full crops will be destroyed. Okay, forest fire. So related to plants, if there is any disaster, it is called as plant, biological, plant type. Under animal, infectious viruses, bacteria, cholera, malaria, hepatitis, plague, insect bites and poison of insects, bite of poisonous animals. All these related to animals. Okay, the infections due to virus, bacteria, all these are due to biological animal things. And any epidemics, okay, if one area is affected by a disease, there is a like malaria, cholera, so this is also a disaster which affects the people. That is called as under biological, it comes under animal. Under man-made, there are unknown reason and there is international reason. Unknown reason is poisonous gases. This you all know, many leakage of gases. Okay, so it causes health issues as well as loss for the environment or country. Poisonous gases, atomic test, unplanned action, accidents. Oh, you can hear, you can see in the news as well as in the newspaper, lot of accident happens. This is all unknown, sudden. So this is all man-made. There will be some mistake that is due to some reason, due to some it is only man-made. Okay. And under man-made, there are international reasons also, like war, fire, bomb blast, forced migration, terrorism, rapes, child labor. These are all man-made disaster which is international. That is like the bomb blast, that we are not aware of it. War, then migration, forced migration, terrorism, rapes, child labor, all these comes under international man-made. So under types of disasters, not natural and man-made, we are having three: geophysical, biological, man-made. Under geophysical, there are two: geological and atmospheric. Under biological, we are having two types, plant and animal. Under man-made, we are having two types, unknown reason and international reason. You can learn the examples of all these, at least three examples you learn. It can come for any match the following or any give reason, correlation. Okay, so correlation can come. Atmospheric, hot and cold waves, geological dash. So you can write any of the example like volcano, tsunami. So it can come for even correlation. So there are chances. So it can come unknown reason, man-made. Unknown reason is atomic test, unplanned action, accident. What is international will be dash. So you can write war, bomb blast, fire, anything. You can write. So this can come for anyone objectives. So this table you learn, this has not come last year. So there are chances of it coming next year. Okay, children. So we have learned what all we learned today. We learned the general, what is disaster, what happens when there is disaster. There is huge loss of life as well as property, isn't it? And we cannot avoid the natural calamities like the natural disasters. It cannot be predicted, it cannot be avoided. And man-made, or that which can be avoided, are like deforestation. That's all can be avoided. Due to deforestation, there is so many problems arising. So this all can be avoided, and they are made by man. So just we started with the lesson, and we learnt about the types of disasters. We learned what are the three: geophysical, biological and man-made. Under geophysical, example, there are two types, geological and atmospheric. Under geological, there are earthquake, volcano, tsunami, etc. Example. Under atmospheric, hot and cold waves, storms, cyclones, drought, flood, related to because of the change in the atmospheric condition, that is atmospheric. Under biological, there are two related to plants like forest fire and fungal disease spreading in the crops, all these which leads to destruction of crops. And animals is due infectious diseases like cholera due to virus, bacteria, all these. Even poisonous insect bites, bite of poisonous animals, all these comes under biological animal type. Then we came to man-made. Man-made, there are unknown reasons like the poisonous gases leakage, atomic test, then unplanned action, then even accidents comes under unknown reason. Under international reason, when there is war between two countries, fire, bomb blast, forced immigration, terrorism, rapes, child labor, all these comes under international. So this, so much we have learned now. This is just a general topic of disaster. If you just read it during the exam, but the tables which are there are also important. So it can come for either 2 marks. There is no possibility of it coming for 5 marks question. It can come for either 2 marks or 3 marks. But there are options. If you feel that you can write this question well, you attempt this question, or else you can attempt other questions. See, in your exam or board exam, 3 marks question, there are 8 questions. In that you have to attempt only 5. Okay. Give reasons, there are 3, you have to attempt only 2. Okay. So answer in short also, there are 5, you have to attempt 3 only. So there are a lot of options. You can choose whichever you feel you can, which question you feel you can do better, you can attempt it. Personal response, I feel that you have to attempt, because mostly personal response they give full marks. Okay. So you try to attempt those questions which are general topics. Okay, children, we will continue this lesson in the next presentation. Till then, take care. Bye bye, children.